Welcome back to Peace, Love and Tarot. This reading is for Capricorn, Sun, Moon or Rising. And Capricorn, this is your weekly intuitive tarot reading for the week of March 30th to April the 5th. This week we have the Initiation Oracle card. We have the Two of Pentacles, the Magician, the Three of Wands, the Ten of Cups, the Star, and the Three of Cups. We have some really beautiful energies here, Capricorn. But we can see that these energies have potentially come in after a darker time, maybe after a Tower moment or after a time where we feel like we have been sort of in the darkness. Guys, we have to acknowledge that we are facing a global crisis at the moment, and some of us are have a forced hand of slowing down, of staying home and reflecting on our lives. And I think it's giving us a great opportunity to reconsider what's really important, to go through a bit of a life review, to manifest new directions in our lives. And ultimately, as horrible as it is right now, I feel a lot of us are being led to a better place, a place where we might make better decisions for ourselves, reconnect with our higher self, our truth, our sense of authenticity. And, we have some cards of really living our best life here. I just feel like when it all blows over, a lot of us are going to be in a much more, humble place, a much more heartfelt place, reconnected with our inner compass. Because if we look back at the previous decades, guys, we've been living from a place of greed, of hedonistic consumerism, of power, not caring about the environment, not caring about our community, becoming distracted and disassociated. And now we are, we're all in this together, and we're being inspired to come together as a community again. So that's what we're facing. Obviously, that's going to come into the readings at the moment, because I just feel like we can't really look at them without that, because whatever's happening on the macro scale, on the world stage, of course, is reflected back to us on an internal level. Some of us are feeling the anxiety of that. So let's start off by reading out the Oracle card, guys, to kick off the reading. The Initiation. Rite of passage, crossing the threshold. Some of the most sacred initiation chambers and temples look scary from the outside, but are breathtakingly beautiful on the inside. This represents the journey that the soul pilgrim is required to take to reach somewhere sacred, but only the initiated can enter. Perhaps that's where you are right now. You are being tested, initiated, because you are headed somewhere sacred. Initiations require that we cross the threshold from one world or state of being to the next. We are called to face what scares us and have to be willing to lose it all in order to gain a new way of being, of safety, of security, of death, of meaning. Wow, guys, well, that couldn't be more clear as to what is going on in the world at the moment. We are headed somewhere sacred. We moved into the 5D energy last year, whether you believe that or not. We're going through a global shake-up at the moment to release the old paradigm. But sometimes the control mechanisms, they rise up. They rise up when, when we're faced with these kinds of spiritual shifts. And I feel like that's what we're seeing at the moment. Nature is revolting. Control and power is stepping up a notch. But it's in order to shift us to the next paradigm. And some of us will have to lose things in order to get there, we've got the star energy here to kick off. And if you know that the star actually follows on from the major arcana of the Tower. So some of you have had Tower moments over the past couple of weeks. I feel like some of you may have lost jobs as a result of this crisis. Some of you may have lost your homes. Some of you have lost financial resources. The share market has had a significant crash. Superannuation funds are down that are linked to stocks and shares. Obviously, that stress flows through to our personal relationships with family. Some of you might have ended a relationship. Anything that has been built on a shaky foundation is being challenged and is coming down. So I feel like some of you may have gone through one of those endings, or something crumbling, and now you're in that healing process. You're in that aftermath. The star is the calm after the storm. It's the healing energy that comes to help you rebalance those emotional waters of life when you're feeling at your most vulnerable. Some of us might feel quite naked and stripped bare. Some of us might have lost things that defined our identity. Work being a big one. If you've lost a job, you could have lost your whole friendship group that existed of colleagues, yes, of course they'll still be in your life, but it's different. It's different when you're not seeing them on a daily basis. Some of you, may have been quite defined by the work you did in the world, and with that taken away, some of you might be having an identity crisis of who am I now without that, and being called to deeply reflect. Well, the star is, a card of rebirth, of renewal, and you're being, called to have the trust and the hope and the faith that you are being led somewhere far greater through this process, and that we should, make a wish on a new star now, make a wish for what we desire in the future, because things will change and manifest and evolve, and you have so much manifestation energy in this reading, Capricorn. But take the time that you need to heal, to reflect, to recalibrate this week. A lot of us are on self-isolation or lockdown, so it's an ideal time to really go deep with yourself and do some inner work and really question what you want for your life. And that's what I see here with the Three of Wands and the Two of Pentacles. So, the Three of Wands shows somebody who is at a crossroads in their life, but they know that they've needed to turn their back on the past, and that the past, doesn't exist anymore. Towers have fallen. We've lost some things. We're crossing a threshold of change. We're leaving a darker time, and we're now looking towards the light, looking towards the future. And I feel like some of you might be going through emotional instability. Some of you might be in emotional turmoil. Some of you might not know where to turn. You might be feeling indecisive, or that you've got, options on the table and you're not too sure which one to choose. That can be the Two of Pentacles, a sense of indecision or instability, not quite feeling grounded at the moment. And that's okay, guys. So many people are in the same boat. The Three of Wands is about now starting to look towards new achievements, successes, the future and the present, without, reflecting and too much. Okay, no, I'm going to contradict myself there. It's fine to reflect on the past, but we don't want to relive it and attach our energy to it like a Five of Cups energy, okay? So reflecting is okay, but, living in the past is something different. We really want to be, forward focused. And it's about manifesting new beginnings. We've got the Three of Cups, we've got the Three of Wands, we've got the Magician, the Star. These are all cards about wishing and desiring for a new future, and then manifesting that and bringing that into reality. The Three of Wands shows somebody that is seeing the seeds of their new achievements and successes as these ships on the horizon. And no, they're not going to come in immediately. First of all, we're going to need to take some inspired action, to take the strategic steps we need in order to manifest and call them in. But the promise is there that if we put the work in now, if we plant the seeds, if we make clear strategic decisions from a grounded place, after healing our emotions, bringing ourselves back into a place of emotional security, then the harvest will come in the next season. The ships will arrive, right? This is just the promise of them now. We can see they're going to come in. But this is a setup period. This is, rebuilding out of the rubble for some of you. But there is an awakening here that you are the creator of your own reality, Capricorn, and you can create whatever it is you want. You are the magician, you are the magic man or woman, and you have all the tools at your disposal in order to create a new reality for yourself, one that is going to be truly abundant. Now, there is a big message with the magician. As above, so below. Some of us might be feeling, the chaos of the global stage internally at the moment. So we really need to make sure that we're protecting our inner sanctuary and being responsible for our own emotions and feelings and our own sense of safety within ourselves. And if we can maintain that, then, we will start to project that out into the world, and we will start shifting that energy and maybe transmuting some of the anxiety and fear that so many of us are consumed by at the moment. And it's when we, understand that we have that ability to be completely accountable and responsible for ourselves, get ourselves in the right place and start manifesting from that place, we really unlock our infinite potential. And that's why the magician has that infinity sign there above his head. And understanding that creation is a cyclic process. We don't just do it once and then expect the results. It's a continual process of grounding ourselves, of releasing what doesn't serve, clearing the rubble, letting towers fall, and then creating again from that place. And whatever it is you're creating, Capricorn, there is great promise of it being really abundant and beautiful for you. We have the Ten of Cups, the Three of Cups, and the King of Wands. So the King of Wands in this reading, yes, there could be a fire sign, an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, potentially someone older, maybe a boss or mentor, father, father-in-law that's somehow pivotal in this process for you. But it could also just be you, Capricorn, being in the King of Wands energy, who is a really strategic, he's kind of an entrepreneur, he's an opportunist, he's seeing the opportunities that arise, and then he's taking the inspired action to bring them towards him or to steer his empire in that direction. So be on the lookout for those opportunities as you're manifesting, and then taking the action you need in order to bring them into fruition, to abundance. Because we can see here with the Three of Cups and the Ten of Cups that things are potentially going to expand for you and become emotionally fulfilling really quickly as well. The Three of Cups shows people that are actually celebrating the harvest. So we talked about in the Three of Wands of these ships on the horizon as kind of being the seeds, taking the action now in order for those ships to come in the future, or that harvest to be able to be reaped. Well, this could be in your near future, guys. I'm not saying it's all going to unfold in 1 week. It could even be in the next 3 months or 3 weeks. But we see people that are celebrating the harvest. So this is saying to me that whatever you decide to work on this week has the potential to deliver, to be abundant, and you're going to be celebrating it in the near future, potentially with friends and family. And it could grow and expand from there. Ten of Cups, guys. This is my living your best life card. One of them, also Nine of Pentacles for me is also. But the Ten of Cups is about reaching that higher state of wish fulfillment, contentment, joy, love, harmony, peace, all of those beautiful feelings, having it all, the home, the children, the beautiful partner. But this also shows a couple that have mastered the abundance creation equation. They know how to continuously work this process of allowing towers to fall, of doing the healing, making clear decisions, leaving the past in the past and taking inspired action, understanding that they are the creator of their own reality. And that's when the fulfillment, the abundance, the money, and all of those things follow. And they know it's not a one-off process, that they need to keep on working that cycle in order to draw more and more of it to them. That's what you're being called to do, Capricorn. But it all starts, after, crossing this threshold of leaving behind the old paradigm, whatever might be crumbling for you, whatever towers are falling for you now. Don't rebuild them. It's time to rebuild something completely new. And that promise is so great of that for you, Capricorn. Okay, Capricorn, I'm going to leave the reading here. I hope you enjoyed it. And I do wish you all the health and happiness this week with some of the things that we're facing right now. Do keep in mind it's a general reading, so it won't be for everyone. Feel free to leave me a comment. We can start a community chat if anyone wants to, support each other or discuss anything they might be experiencing right now. And I'll see you back here next week for another reading.